sales events are coming back. So understanding that we've got these events that are back in full swing and are really moving, thought that this would be a great time to talk through 3 keys to hosting successful events moving forward for you the rest of the year. Good morning, insurance agents of the senior market. Welcome back to another episode of Near and Far. It is Friday, June 18th. Thank you for getting ready for your weekend with us, but there's still some work to do today, so let's kind of get at it. One of the things that we're seeing from our insurance agents across the country is that sales events are coming back. We have more and more agents that are jumping into doing sales events and also educational events, and beyond that even, events in low-income areas, at food pantries, at low-income housing. Event marketing is back with many of the COVID restrictions easing all across the country. So understanding that we've got these events that are back in full swing and are really moving, thought that this would be a great time to talk through 3 keys to hosting successful events moving forward for you the rest of the year. So the first key is location. And when you talk to a real estate agent, they'll tell you it's location, 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 which is true. And with your events, it's the same thing. A solid location makes all the difference in your events so that your event doesn't look like this with empty chairs all over the place. So the couple items that you want to think about when you are picking a location for your sales or educational event. Now, obviously, this doesn't apply to low-income decent marketing because, if you're going to the food pantry, that location is kind of picked for you. But for your sales and educational events that you'll be marketing to your non-Medicaid prospects, you want to think about number 1, is it easy to get to? One of the things that we talk through is if it's on a 4-lane road and there is a divider in the middle and you've got to drive a half a mile past the place and then turn around, not all that accessible. So think about ease of entry specific to your location. Second is parking. It's interesting when we pick places for our agent events, we're always thinking about what's the parking situation. Is it going to be easy to pull your car in, park your car, and get inside without having an excessive amount of walking that's involved? Because if we're talking about Medicare beneficiaries, some of them may have mobility issues. So we just want to be very clear that parking is easy. And lastly, when it comes to the location, it needs to be centered around your target geography. If you are doing an event, say in a particular county, you want something, and you're advertising all throughout the county, you want something that's kind of in the middle, that's geographically proximate to the most amount of people that you are sending mail to. Really what we've seen is 5 to 10 miles is really the limit. Maybe in a more rural area where people are used to driving farther, it may be more than 10 miles, but for the most part, in areas where we see our agents writing the most amount of Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement, that's sales events. People will be willing to drive 5 to 10 miles. You probably want to stick somewhere in that range. Now, the other item to think about with location is it doesn't have to be a hotel. Like there's so many agents we talk to about doing educational and sales events that are looking to do hotel meeting rooms. And certainly there's a benefit to doing that, but it makes your cost really high and impacts the profit you can make on each one of those events. So think about other types of locations that may keep your costs low. Think about a place like Panera Bread that offers a free meeting room. You buy a couple pastries and coffee, they give you the room for free. Public libraries oftentimes have meeting rooms. That's another great place. So think about non-hotel locations, and our sales team can talk with you about that, about places that will help you convert the most consumers and keep those costs low. So the second item that we want to talk about is advertising. If you are building out a schedule of events and you have good locations, because we just talked through that, and your content is very solid, but if no one comes, what good is it? It's the same principle of if a tree falls in the middle of the woods and no one's around to hear it, did it actually make a sound? Well, that's what happens if your advertising isn't solid. Now, what we talk through with agents all the time, specific to events, is you want a combination of traditional media like direct mail and digital like Facebook. Facebook has become a huge way of promoting sales and educational events. We see agents using it in incredibly high volumes. So you want to have a multimedia approach here. You don't want to stick to just mail, just digital. Try to sweep out to the greater swath of consumers and meet them from an advertising perspective the way they want to be met. Now, one thing that a lot of agents don't focus on is that your existing members are really the best resource you have for filling those seats. They've already chosen you to work with for their Medicare coverage needs. Let them know that you're doing a sales or educational event and tell them, hey, if there's someone else who could benefit from this information that I've already given to you, please let them know about that event. Super easy to share on Facebook. That's one of the reasons why we talk about it, because there's lots of times I'll see something on Facebook, not necessarily a Medicare sales event, but I'll see something on Facebook. Maybe it's a concert or some sort of event that I really like, and I know a good friend of mine would love to hear it. I just go in the comments and I tag them. That's a great way for your existing members to help promote your services in a referral fashion. Additionally, if we're talking about direct mail, our graphic design team is making custom mail pieces all the time to help agents promote these events. And we can do that for you. So, and the best part about it is it's free. The best price is free. So our custom graphic design team can help you build those event pieces in order to properly promote your event. So talk to us about that. So the last key that I want to go through with you in terms of having successful events is follow through. It's so key when you're doing your event to do two things. One, acquire permission to contact. If you didn't have it before, make sure you're getting permission to contact at the event so you can call these consumers. And then you need to continue your follow-up in the weeks after your meeting. There's lots of times where you do a sales event, someone is still digesting that information, and they're not ready to fill out an app then. They need some more time to figure out what they want to do. Be persistent. Stay hungry. It's important. Very few people are going to make that decision during the course of the event. Sometimes it happens, but that's not all that common. What you want to do is continue to be persistent. And if you can't get them on the phone, mail them. Send them a letter. If you have an event with 20 people, maybe you close 2 of them during the course of an event. What does it cost to send a handwritten note or a letter to 18 people? 18 people times the cost of a stamp. It's really a minimal cost, but you're getting back in front of that consumer, reminding them, hey, my name is Bob. I did your Medicare educational event the other day. I'm sure you're still considering options. Please reach out to me to any new questions that you may have. There are some times that it takes 6 to 8 outreaches before you're able to close someone. Stay hungry and go get those folks. You've already made that incredibly positive impression based upon your sales event. Make sure that you continue to reinforce that you are there as a resource. So we hope that this is helpful to you in terms of some tips for a sales event. Again, if you're not doing events right now, maybe you did them before COVID, get back out there. The environment is totally different than it was 6 months ago. Agents are doing them, consumers are showing up, and it could be your time to help acquire a bunch of new clients. So we will be back with you on Monday, June 21st, same time, 7 a.m. I'm Bill, and this has been Near and Far. See you next week.